Hi everyone, welcome back to my tutorials of the basics of building in Unity, your first world. It's Harriet UK, and please make sure you subscribe to the channel before we go any further. I'm getting lots of views, but people are forgetting to subscribe, so please press that subscribe button. So the last time I spoke to you, it was a little while ago. I've had a bit of a break because I've been a bit busy and stuff, but hopefully I can whack a few more of these videos out for you. The last video we did, I brought in various models from Sketchfab. This is one model that I brought in as well. And so I thought I would use this model to show you how the different textures work, but also optimizing your world as well. So I bought this in from Sketchfab. It's a pretty typical one. If you are using people's Sketchfabs and you're going to publish it, I always have a little credits board in my world just to name the person who has built it. But I have already downloaded some of the textures that I like using. I like using UQ's textures. He can be found on Unity Asset Store, and he does lots of different quality textures as well. But what I want to go through with you is that when you click on a textures folders, when people talk about textures, there's materials and there's textures. Now the two are different. Materials, you usually have a materials folder and a textures folder, and you may have a prefab folder and other folders depending what asset it is, but you will always have a materials and texture. The materials folder is your go-to folder. So this is where you would drag out a material and then place it onto the model. The materials you can use are all in spheres because they are classed as materials. If I go into textures, you will see they're all square like that. And for each texture, they normally come with 3 layers. So you would have your smoothness, and so your Alberto is your actual texture. Then you'll have a normal map, which is usually the blue, and then you'll have a second texture for things like occlusion or smoothness. I couldn't think of the word and things. So this is what will be your culprit of keeping your megabytes down. So in Android, you are only allowed 100 megabytes, and you might have brought in a ton load of these folders and you've published and you've gone, oh shit, I'm nearly at 100 megabytes, but I've hardly got anything in my world. Well, the answer is this, okay? So what I'm going to show you is how to optimize your world with these textures. So when you click on a texture, and let me click on any one so you can see, this is the inspector panel, and it will tell you everything about that texture. Down here, let me just hide that button. Down here, it tells you what maximum size it is. And his are all 1024, which is good quality. Now, what I tend to do is drop them down to 512, and then you click that apply button. Okay. If you click on it and you click 512, and you don't hit the apply button, you forget and you click somewhere else, it will remind you, do you want to save changes to that one that you just did? And you say yes, save. Now if you had a lot of textures, you can press Control and A, and down here it will just say 3 little dots because that means it's mixed. So what you can do is click on it and go to 512. 512 is usually good enough for Android. and then click apply. And then that little bar goes across, and then that's halved that file size now. So you could make a huge, big difference with reducing your textures. Sometimes if I have textures that aren't important, it doesn't matter about the textures, I may use this crunch compression down here. And if you, so let me select one, let me select something that I don't really care about. Oh, yeah, we'll click on that one. And then if I click that use crunch compression, then you can adjust the quality here of the texture. I tend to keep it in middle, but if you do crunch compression and click apply, that reduces it right down. Okay, so that's just a bit of a big hint and tip for you there when building. Please get in the habit of doing that. I didn't know that until at the end of my project, and then I had to go into all of my textures and compress them. The other thing I want you to make note of is that when you do your world, if I was to go into this world right now, I would just fall right through the world. So what you need to do is when you have an object, so let's get a cube. So this could be a seat or something like that, but it's a cube. Now, at the moment, this has a box collider on it. And what that means is that people will be able to go up to it, but they won't be able to go near it, on top of it, through it, or anything. Okay, it's like a big invisible box that goes around it. Sometimes if you've got sofas or stairs or things like that, people are sitting on top of the invisible box collider, then all you want to do is uncheck that box collider there. Or if you don't want it at all, you can click these three little dots and click remove component, and that will remove it. So now this object has no box collider on it, and I'll be able to walk through it. But say I just wanted to sit on top of it. So what I would then do is click on this add component, and then in this search bar at the top, just type in mesh, and you'll see mesh collider come up. You click on mesh collider, and that adds a mesh collider to it. Right, and what that means now is that I can walk right up to that box, I can tap on it, I can stand on it, and I can sit on it, and there isn't an invisible wall around the whole thing. And you need to do that with any of the objects that you want to be able to people to stand on. Now, if I had lots of cubes, so let's just turn that off a second. So I'm going to duplicate this cube a few times by pressing Control and D. I'm holding down the left mouse button with that arrow look, and I'm pressing Control and D. So say if I had a whole selection of items, you can click on the first one. You can either hold down Control, and you can click a few like that. Say I wanted 3 out of those 4 to have a mesh collider on. So if it's not there already, so let me remove that. You can add component, mesh collider, and that's 3 out of those 4 boxes now have a collider on it. So you don't need to individually click each and every single one. So if you look at the ones that I've clicked on now, they've all got a mesh collider on it, apart from this one, because that it's there, but it's unticked. Yeah, if it's unticked, it means it's not in use. So I can just remove that component. So that is really important. Okay. Right. So in my next video, I'm going to start texturing, but I just wanted to get this video in first to tell you that before you went any further. Building, if you've finding your feet already, well done. But keep watching videos for more hints. I'll be doing a video straight after this one, getting down into texturing. But that is all the technicalities done for now. Okay,